طيب بسم الله والسلام على رسول الله. My name is Dr. Tariq Awad Karim Muhammad, College of Medicine, Medical Education Department, and today is my second session with you on my series of health profession education's block sessions. Today's session is problem-based learning, the role of the tutor, the chairperson, the scribe, and the other members of the group. Objectives of my today's session is to identify the different roles of the PBL tutor, identify the different responsibilities of the chairperson, the scribe, and other group members in a PBL session. And as the slide in front of you, this is an example of how the members are sitting around the table of the participants. Of course, the tutor is not sitting at the head or at the beginning of the table. No, it's always advised to be at the side. The students sit round the table, round the table, and the chairperson is where the computer is or the laptop is placed. The scribe is the one that in front of the board. The role of the PBL tutor before the first session of a new case, it is always advised the tutor need to read the proposed learning goals, read the case. I myself always do my homework and revise the case and the learning objectives together with all the details and the references. Be aware of the available resources with each case. There will be learning resources, e.g. lectures, social and behavioral sciences references that the student should use. During the first session, of course, choosing the chair, every student should take turns in the roles within the group. The student themselves elect the chairperson as well as the scribe. They choose the secretary or the scriber, and then ensure the group works through the 11 steps or the 7 steps. At times, he may have to remind the groups of the steps to be gone through. During the first session as well, challenge the student about their discussions. Are there any more explanations? What questions are to be addressed? Also, make sure the learning goals are recorded. Record the absence at the sessions. Attendance, of course, is compulsory in all the sessions by the students. During the subsequent session, the chairperson and the secretary should be the same people or the student as in the first session. Make sure that the group puts up the goals that they set previously. Discussion should center on these goals. During the subsequent session, when a group member gives the information that they have found out, make sure that they list the sources they use. Each member needs to state where did he get his information from. Learning how to use the resources as well as being aware of their strengths and limitations are important general aims of the PBL. Makes notes on the group process and contribution of the individual members. Feedback on the functioning of the group and its members is one of the most important tasks of the tutor. Generally, the tutor or the facilitator, he promotes cooperation and support between the students, encourage the critical appraisal of the new ideas, maintain productive and positive atmosphere during the sessions and among the group, as well as act as a facilitator, making sure the students are staying on the track. The role of the tutor in problem-based learning is a facilitator. And as what's been described in the literature by Kees van der Vleuten and Griffiths Dolmans as scaffold student learning. He is to scaffold the student learning. Raise questions, Scartic style that deepened the connections they make among the concepts. Encourage self-directed learning. Guidance is given in the form of suggestions. The facilitator may intervene if the students are not working or if the activity is starting to go in the wrong directions. The students may ask the facilitator for advice, which can be given according to his judgment. The role of the tutor, as well as coming into in summary, stimulation of elaboration of information and ideas, stimulation of the integration of the knowledge, check, scribe, keeps accurate records, stimulation and support of the student interaction, as well as individual accountability, knowledge of the process of PBL, commitment to the student direct learning, ability to promote discussion and critical thinking, willingness to make constructive evaluation of the student and the group performance, as well as manage time, process, and group dynamics. A very effective tutor meet other people tutors and discuss tactics, peer observation and feedback, tolerate silences, of course. The role of the tutor is student criticize, interrupting student, over participating and directing, telling too many stories, dictating pace and rushing things, going off. We move on to the role of chairperson, and the role of the chairperson the chairperson should investigate who the group members are and make sure that they know each other, introduce the case and announce that sessions has started, makes the roles clear. It's good if everyone contributes so long as one person at a time. So organizing the discussion, this is the role of the chairperson. Stimulate, invite everyone to take part in the discussion, and as well as summarize. It's valuable to keep summarizing what the group is up to. During the discussion, the chairperson needs to elaborate. When a contribution is not clear, it is important to ask the student to explain. Interact with the secretary. Elaborate when a contribution is not clear. It is important to ask the student to explain. Interact with the scriber. What is written on the whiteboard or on the keyboard on the computer can be a good trigger for discussion. Monitor the contribution, bringing the topic or stake to a conclusion, bringing in the tutor, involve him in the discussion about the group process and ask his views of it. Asking him, like, for example, what do you think, doctor or the tutor, what do you think of how are we doing? So such throwing questions might bring the dynamic of the group and the involvement of all the participants as well as the tutor. Ask him for guidance if you are unsure that you are covering the content in appropriate way. Timekeeping, of course, this is very important, especially in the steps. Not giving overtime for certain steps, like step 3, not to exceed certain minutes. Step 4, make sure a conclusion is reached and everyone is in agreement. Evaluate your progress as a group and your personal performance as a chairperson. We move into the roles of the scribe, which is, I really personally find it a very difficult role because he has to wear both hats of participating, recording the terms that need to be defined during the private study, listening the problems, picking out and writing down important points during the brainstorming, writing down important points raised in the discussion that will help to construct an explanation, linking solutions into an explanation of the case, identify and prioritizing questions and writing them down. All these are part of the scriber roles. Writing down the agenda for the next session and ensuring that every member has access to it. The scribe should be an especially proactive member of the group, fully taking part in the debate and record the resources, conclusions. The roles of the members and I mean here by all the learners. Everyone has a role: scribe, chairperson, or active group member. Every group member has the role of a major participant. Group members is to facilitate and support the chairperson and scribe by making effective contributions to the work of the group. It will not, it is always active, better that each member is to be active and engaged. Research all the learning objectives. Every member needs to research and do his homework. Follow the process steps in sequence and listen to the respect and others. Ask open the session of the lecture. Can